In the beautiful land of Ireland, there lies an ancient stone near the River Wire. On the ancient stone was a bit of slime. Well, some rumours have been saying it was caused by the kingsland python. Have you ever tried to investigate what caused that? Many stars ago, Lord Timothy owned a piece of land and hired men who could handle snakes and people who were trained well in the army, and said their family and siblings could come along. They had to give him money though. He also got some equipment to make some snake repellent because they are also bugging him. Keep that in mind. One lovely day when young Timothy went to explore the forest, he saw a weird snake. But little did he know it was the kingsland python. Scared, he dropped it. Crash! The snake started hissing. He was terrible with a bow and same with a sword. And if he ever tried to even hold a sword, he would drop it on his foot and break it. But he did like exploring. The next couple of weeks later, Timothy was exploring when he saw something unusual. Amazed and shocked, he quickly ran to the mysterious thing. "What is that?" he shouted. The snake was a slime, strong and squirmy monster with eyes like demons and jaws with two knife-like teeth. Slowly picking up the creature, he froze in horror. When Timothy picked up the snake, he put it in a cage. The snake didn't like the coldness of the cage. It bit, constricted, but Timothy didn't want those horrifying teeth infecting venom into his body. "Come on, Timothy, more faster or you'll get bitten," thought Timothy. He ran like the wind. Hopelessly, he ran faster, lifting up the ancient stone with all his might. He threw it under the stone and walked home, only thinking what could happen next. When Timothy got back from his journey, he had to go to boot camp. He was too lazy and not fit enough to keep on exploring. He was crying all day and night, pleading not to go, but he was forced to. A week later, he was going on his way to boot camp to set up his tent. His father said, "It will make you the best in Kingsland like me at one point." 5 days later, the snake found a crack and slithered into a crevice and stayed there for months. In the crevice, the snake found water and food so it could stay alive. And there it grew and grew and grew. The snake was more a T-Rex than a snake. It had brown and black skin. It also had full black eyes with a dot of red in the middle. The snake also starts dripping poison as a defensive mechanism. It has also a ginormous tongue that has continuous slime coming out of its mouth. It had scales that had small blades on them everywhere. It also had megalodon teeth the size of 2 double-decker buses. The more it grew, the hungrier it got. Munch, crunch. The terrorizing monster squeezed the life out of the farm animals and ate all the people with a vicious spear of poison. It ate all the grass and crops and only left mud behind. The villagers were broken. They could do nothing. The villagers grabbed their javelins and set off to the overly sized house. They sprinted in anger with their javelins in hand. They screamed and shouted, "We want Timothy! We want Timothy! We didn't ask for this! We give you food, you keep us safe!" Prince Timothy held his head in devastation. Lord Timothy called every reinforcement he could get his hands on. He called Prince Timothy. After weeks of being traumatized, he came home and saw what devastation had happened. Huh? What happened? Before he could finish, he heard a massive thump. Lord Timothy told him what went on. A snake? That was a sheep hater, kid killer and pig muncher. He thought back all those years ago, was this the same snake? It looked so similar. He should have killed it when he had the opportunity. This was time to put things right. He was determined to get his sweet revenge. Timothy was spindly and too useless to do anything, but he had to do the deed. Encouraged to succeed, Timothy went to the blacksmith's to get some armour. The blacksmith replied, "Wait one day and I'll craft it for you." The very next day he retrieved the armour. The sword was named the Royal Slicer. Timothy sprinted through dead bodies and piles of bones. He finally saw it. It was bigger than usual, and Timothy could barely hold the sword. He gripped it with all his might and suddenly recognized that it broke a bit of the stone, but he didn't care less. The snake bit and sprayed venom all over him, but that only fired him up for the battle. Gritted his teeth, he raised his eyebrows and jumped viciously in the air. He cut the two gigantic teeth off and went straight for the head. He took his opportunity to kill it, and he did it all by himself, and he knelt down on his knees and prayed for it to never happen again. His father was proud of him. He would never send him away again. The end.